How are you, folks? How's it going? I spent most of this year learning how to level up my game from where it started to where it is now. It all began way back in December, when I made my first video about learning character pixel art. It's been a long journey since then, and I know I haven't given a lot of updates along the way. Honestly, life has been pretty hectic, and I never want to make videos just for the sake of posting. If you're here, I want you to leave with something valuable. So let's dive into it. This is what I've been working on. First, let's get the map out of the way. It's gone through quite a major transformation. It's now this minimalist, procedurally generated map. My goal for the game overall is to have most levels as these generated dungeons, and then have some handcrafted arenas for boss fights and things like that. Right now, I'm focusing on the dungeon generation because I want to make a playable prototype to get it into your hands as soon as possible. Start focusing on the mechanics before I worry about how to make nice looking maps, I suppose. And for the map itself, it's mostly assets I'm using. So for the map generation, I'm using an asset called WNC Isometric Tile Creator. Super flexible. You can control the height, width, and length of your maps. It's really easy to use. So highly recommend it if you're trying to do something similar. For the cool toony outline I have around the map, I'm using the Flat Kit Toon Shading and Water asset. It's packed with amazing shaders and demos, and honestly, it's great value for money. So that's another recommendation if you're ever looking for something. The tiles made by me, but it's not saying much. It's a box with a very basic texture I put around it. I had this idea in my head of having this kind of super saturated, these colorful tiles, but I do think that this kind of really green, bright map doesn't really match the characters I created, so this might need to change in the future. I might need to come up with ways to make this more detailed, I suppose. So yeah, that's something I'm going to have to figure out along the way, definitely. But I think it doesn't look too bad right now. If you have any questions about any of those asset packs, of what I'm doing around the map, do just feel free to ask about it in the comments. I'm happy to sit and chat about it. Next up, let's talk about attack animation effects. If you're curious about triggering things like projectiles using animations in Unity, there's this really useful tool called animation events. Here's how it works. Select your animating sprite with the animation tab open, go to the frame where you want the event to trigger, and hit the add event button, this little button down here. This creates an animation event that lets you call any function you've attached to that sprite's game object. For example, if I click on one of these characters, I'm calling a function called play attack effects. With my range characters, I create an actual 3D object as a projectile, which will damage a character when it collides with them. My range attacks are still a bit janky, so I'll save the deep dive on that for later. Right now, the real focus is on the melee attack combos. I mentioned this in a previous video, but here's a quick refresher in case you haven't seen it. A unique issue in 2.5D games like mine is handling animation layering. In 2D games, you can ensure animations stay on top of the ground thanks to the layering system. But in a 3D world, what's around it depends on the position in 3D space. So, in an isometric game like mine, if a character is positioned on the ground, I have to be careful not to make the base of the sprite any larger. Otherwise, it could end up clipping through the floor during an attack animation with something like a blow effect. To get around this, I've set it up so I can show my attack effects directly in 3D space. First, I created this basic attack blow. Then in the game, I angled it to kind of match the character's sword swing. Then when the character's doing his attack animation, I can use one of those animation events to trigger the play attack effects function, which will trigger that little blow effect to play. And I can even stack them together if I want to add more swings to an animation. And this is what it looks like in game, and I think it turned out pretty well. It's still a basic start, but as a foundation, I'm pretty happy with it. But as always, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to take a deeper dive in the comments or even in another video if you want. Or in the Discord. Join the Discord if you want. And of course, we have to talk about the pixel art characters. So since the video way back in December, I've been practicing fairly consistently, or as consistently as I can, to get better at this. So let's introduce you to the gang so far. We have our warrior dude, archer dude, a mage guy, and then these are like the bad variants of them. So we have the warrior version is this orc guy with an axe. We have a little goblin with a crossbow, which I really like. And then this guy is supposed to look like a witch doctor with like skulls and stuff, which I think is quite cool. And yeah, you can see even with these characters that I get better. I'm getting better as I'm doing them. Like, I think the witch stock though is quite clean in comparison to some of the other guys, particularly the archer. I think is quite messy when I look at it right now. But yeah, so even making these guys, I'm getting better, which is pretty motivating, to be honest. I'm quite happy with the progress I'm making, to be honest. And then, like, in terms of if I was going to give any tips on how I drew these guys, I don't have anything magical, to be honest. It was just practice more than anything else. One cool tip I do have, I actually made a post on Reddit asking for advice because I was pretty lost. And someone suggested if you're making isometric characters to shade the back half of the character darker to give it more depth. And as soon as I did that, I thought everything got so much better. I was pretty close to giving up and just like paying someone to do my pixel art, to be honest. And then, yeah, I did that and I just thought this looks pretty cool. So I kind of just was motivated to keep trying. And yeah, I'm really happy with the progress I've made, to be honest. Let me know what you guys think and if there's any improvements you'd make. Yeah, that's all I have to say about pixel art, to be honest. And that is that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It means the absolute world to me. It's been a while. I'm definitely feeling a bit rusty since the last video, but hopefully it was short and sweet and you got something out of it. I definitely need to get some more practice in, that's for sure. But, it is what it is. Updates. What I think I'm going to work on next is probably, I'm thinking UI, maybe. I've been looking at these stupid buttons I made for a long time now. So I'm a bit eager to get like an actual UI in the game, maybe a nice tone timer or something like that. So that's probably what the next devlog is going to be about. If you don't want to wait for the next devlog, join the Discord. Pretty much every time I do any kind of work, I do a post there, like I said before. And yeah, then you get to see everyone else's work there as well. And there's a lot of really great projects happening. So do join. And if that's not good enough, I also started streaming. Yeah, to absolutely nobody because I didn't tell anyone about it. I've been all on my own over on Twitch/Lawless Games. So give me a wee follow if you want to come and join me and chat and see how stupid I am in real time. No promises on like an actual schedule or like that. It's just something I'm going to do every now and again for fun. So just a follow, and yeah, you can join in and you can ask questions or see what I'm working on in real time. Hopefully, it's a good time and not totally embarrassed. And I don't pick my nose on screen or something like that, which could happen. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Short and sweet. Thank you so much, guys. It does mean the world to me. I missed making videos, to be honest, and it made me realize that I should do it more. So hopefully the next video won't be so long away. But yeah, that's it. Thanks so much, guys. See you next time. Bye.